LDO shit because when Curry Kitten quits, it takes Jack, Frank, and Tony to fill his shoes. Hello and welcome to Let's Drone Out. Tonight we are joined by our Lord and Master Andrew / Frank.
Good evening.
My darling wife Tony.
Buongiorno.
Oh, hitting pause, baby.
Yes, I forgot.
The sheer teamwork between Cole and Frank is amazing. Thank you, Cole, for the lovely template.
No problem.
And our guest tonight, Beauty and the Geek winner, the sexy Martin Thompson.
Thank you, Jack. You're making me blush. We talked
I watched
about
that. I was like, I know that guy.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, thank you very much, Martin, for coming on tonight. I'm very glad to have you here. For everyone who isn't in the UK on today, the 4th of January, it's just very, very wet. Like, it's been very windy, it's been very wet. So I thought we need something to look forward to. We need something, something in the future where we can all meet together and be in good flying weather, and it'll all be good. Something to look forward to. So what better than the new master of Wings and Wheels, Martin's come along.
You're welcome, Andrew. Yes, it will be interesting to tell everyone as much as I can about Wings and Wheels.
But maybe before we get to Wings and Wheels, maybe we should introduce you. So, Master, we've you and I sort of first met on the Battle of Britain Model Squadron Channel 4 TV show 6 years ago now.
Is it
quite a while?
Coming up, I think it was, wasn't it? Because we had our 5-year anniversary in 2023.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember you there just working away on the laptop trying to figure out why the infrared things on the shooting the plane things down.
Yeah, I was trying to, first of all, stop everyone from blowing up their own team's pyrotechnics. And then trying to then re-allow them to blow up everyone else's pyrotechnics when they're up in the air. Exciting times.
Because wasn't it when we were doing the formation takeoffs, we'd shoot the plane in front of us, and then we'd just set off all the smoke bombs.
There was that, and there was also people testing that their guns worked on the ground. So they'd all be lined up, ready to take off for a take.
And they'd test the guns.
I'll test the guns while you're on the ground, sat just behind all your teammates. And all of a sudden, all the pyro goes off. Oh, God.
Brilliant. I bet, who was that? Channel 4?
That was Channel 4, yeah.
I bet they love that.
Well, to be honest, they were there. I mean, it's the same crew that do Bake Off, right? That's their style, is put lots of people in just peril. Just get them to cause as much drama as possible. And I think they succeeded with us and a collection of foamies and a load of pyrotechnics.
I see why you didn't invite me, because you on numerous occasions you were like, you would have stabbed someone, you would have hated it, there was never the right tools, someone had to stop and like go disassemble their workshop and then bring everything. I would have just hurt people. I'd have been like, you test your guns on the floor, you get stabbed with a screwdriver.
There's the ammo cans of lipo batteries that were like absolute, gold dust. Like, there was not enough batteries to go around for everyone, and
22s.
They would production team would sort of disappear them off into some other part of the site, and we'd have to go hunting for them. Great game of hide and seek. Yeah.
I know. See, someone like Cole, he would have been like, "Yo, air tag that shit."
Yeah.
But Martin, you were famous in both the TV world and the RC world, well outside of Model Squadron, I feel. How long have you been flying RC?
That is a good question. I am now in my 20th year.
Oh my god. We haven't even gone through the list of things that you've done yet, but it's too long a list to just be 20. And
yes, I should really learn to say no more often. And I've been flying model aeroplanes for 20 years. Yeah, coming up, I'm 27 this year. So when I was 7,
did you sell your garage in the end?
Oh,
which one? I think is the question.
I did. I think you might be referring to the advert for the one to rent, and the one to rent did get rented. But I've left adverts up because it just kind of creates a continuous stream of messages. So when one does become available, I just send someone a message and it gets tenanted again and again and again and again. It's like the gift that keeps on giving.
But you've been flying RC for 20 years.
Yes.
And it seems like you must have got into your entrepreneurial spirit fairly early on, because you've been in the model trade for quite a long while, haven't you?
17 years. Or coming up to 17 years. Started that career when I was about 10. When I was about 10. And yes, that's kind of just led on to lots of weird and wonderful opportunities that I always am just too keen to say yes to.
You definitely built up a reputation in the BMFA Facebook group for having sort of a lot of models to sell, buying models, driving models around the country. You built up an empire.
Yes, formerly driving. I think it was interesting. I think the best way to describe that was when I stopped. It must have been coming up to 2 years ago, or sort of when I kind of had a break from it a couple of years ago. And it was only then was I realised you can literally contact any corner of the world through model aircraft flying. It's absolutely incredible, kind of just that network, and sort of kind of actually how kind of in model flying or helicopters or drones or whatever we want to call them and whatever you want to do, is all a hobby. It's a hobby for us. And it's amazing kind of the professional lives of people that are brought together to a common hobby. It's just absolutely incredible.
And anyone that has been following Martin's Instagram and other social media will have seen how far he's been pushing that. I mean, you've been globetrotting, I would say, with your various contacts around the world.
Yes. I was just going to say, is my signal okay? Is it? It's all working okay? Your end?
Oh
is
yeah.
It?
Yep.
Was it
loud and clear?
I'm just going to turn the Wi-Fi off on my phone just in case any havoc. But no, that's good. Yes, it's quite amazing with model aircraft flying, sort of kind of traveling around different corners of the world, and it's always great fun when you're like, I was at a model flying club in Australia fairly recently, and with that you just turn up and it's so easy. It's the same conversation. It's just like, how long have you been flying models for? And that's it. That's the only question you have to ask. And then you can sit back, but it just opens the door to all these kind of wonderful conversations. And before you know it, you're kind of being shown around the club huts and kind of, if you want to join the club. And it's just honestly, it's such an amazing hobby. I absolutely love it.
I like the fact after you've been doing it a fair few years, someone asks you at a club and then they kind of relax once they know you're not a dickhead. do you know what I mean? It's like when you first like if you've been doing it for say 10 years, they go, oh, you've chopped your finger, you know not to do this, you aren't going to kill anyone. I mean, I remember
Martin's not so sure about this. Martin knows most.
No,
many wombles.
We'll let Jack speak. Oh,
mind you, like I learned. Apparently, you were a gobshite hooligan, weren't you, when you were younger, and that's how you've ended up being. If your Beauty and the Geek intro is anything to go by, or something, or some sort of documentary thing that you left school early because you hated it, and model flying's all you've known and loved.
No, that was for something else with that. But yes, I was out of school for a period of time between ages of 13 and 14, so I sort of didn't really do year 7 and a little bit of year 8. So yes, that was the joys. Oh, can you Cole, tell me what you've been quietly sat in the corner.
Cole loves burning stuff. Burning, just arson. Just
what? Where did this come from? That's a completely made up joke.
I know, isn't it? I wanted to see the look on his face. Like,
no, I'll say this. I can relate. We'll leave it at that.
And then you've got a glamorous TV career. You're a published author.
Yeah. Published author, yes. No, so it's kind of interesting, and I think it's kind of that case of it's all really kind of led on from model aeroplane flying, as kind of all of this, because the first time was, I think, kind of all of it. You could I threw a lot of time and passion and sort of kind of very much a tunnel visioned approach with model aeroplane flying. So it's like 10 years old business, out of school, model aeroplane flying business. When you finish school, it's business model aeroplane flying. And you kind of get to your early 20s and it's like, actually, I don't know the world outside of model aeroplane and business. Which is rather kind of intriguing. But I've kind of always been very lucky along the way. It's kind of either opportunities to the Channel 4 Battle of Britain Model Squadron thing. And then that kind of gave me a boost of confidence to do the work I did in Bangladesh. Because you sort of think, I think it's like being, especially as an adult, being on TV. I know I was on kind of TV and newspapers when I was a lot younger. But you don't really, you don't really kind of think about that. But you kind of think as an adult, oh, I wasn't expecting I could be on television. Like, if I can do that, anything. Maybe I could try this that I didn't think I could do, and then before you know it, you're kind of hop, skipping, and jumping along the way, and then you kind of, before you know it, you've kind of not amassed an empire, but you kind of various weird and wonderful places, walking red carpet world premiere events with all the world celebrities, or heck, being in the cinema with Warwick Davis and his family. Just these kind of like things you just don't really think you would do. But it's kind of weird. But I would say it's kind of it's a world that's all accessible to everyone and all of us. You just sort of kind of always just got kind of say yes to an opportunity, or do something you don't want to, not say don't do something you don't want to do, but something you think, oh, I'd rather stay in home or stay in my warm bed. You sort of get out, do it, and just see what happens.
Yep. Yeah. If you stay at home and, don't take opportunities that come your way, how are you going to know what's going to come later? Right. So, yeah, totally get that.
And you took on some opportunities,
absolutely,
like you were saying.
Absolutely.
Like you said, outside of the model flying community, you went and did some other things for a while, and now you've come back with a vengeance. Like, you swore it off, and now you're back.
Now we're back. So yes, the main reason probably why you've got me on this on what is this called? Droning out.
Let's drone out.
Let's drone out. That's probably the reason you've got me on this drone.
No.
I really.
How, Martin, you slag. You fucking slag.
I am sorry. I literally left a load of people in a restaurant and ran here. And then I managed to tune in. So it was I didn't do any research. It was just like Andrew sent me a message saying, "Do you want to come on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come on. I've quite a busy day, but I'll just hop on."
Research, you're a friend of the show. Frank holds you in high regards.
Yeah, but he's seen the show. That's why
someone's in trouble.
That's why.
No, Tom Cole and Jake. This is Jack. Sorry.
Too busy snorting coke off hookers and blow. Now that's it. High life. You red carpet. We're beneath him now.
He's too cool for us, man. He's too cool.
I'm your host.
At least he said my name correctly.
You've written.
What I was meaning is that we're all brought together because of our friendship for one another, not because you've got a podcast. It's because we actually. I'm not with you guys simply because you're famous. It's because you're my friends. So this is like the genuineness of our friendship.
He was quiet. He was a lovely boy. That's the only way I would describe him. And now he answers back. He beats us all into submission. And now we jump to his command. He would have been terrified of you.
Well, it's gone well enough that we're now. Yeah, it's gone well enough that we're now starting to think about our 10th year of LDO. So that's kind of, we're doing all right.
A decade of this shit.
But that doesn't quite beat or get anywhere close to the long legacy of Wings and Wheels.
Good link to that. Yes, 38. So Wings and Wheels, back to Wings and Wheels. Yes, it was a show that started up in 1986. So 38. It's its 38th year now. 37. And 2024 will be the 38th year. Well, it's had 30. However long. I always get the website doesn't even know, and I don't even know. So who knows? If there's a man who should know, it's me, and I don't. So yeah, Wings and Wheels was started up by I believe it was a couple of club members that started up the show back in the late 1980s, and then it got taken over by Traplet / Sarek that they are now, and it was run successfully for 30 or so years. And naturally, with things, people want to break from things. So last year, the opportunity came up to acquire the show, and I thought I really fancy kind of doing something bigger. I kind of fancy doing something kind of bigger or sort of bigger projects. So when the opportunity came up, I kind of pondered on it. And I was aware that there were sort of a few red herrings floating around in regards to Wings and Wheels, but I thought, no, I'll take on the challenge. So I acquired the show, emailed the council saying, "Hey, I'm Martin. I've taken over Wings and Wheels. I'd love to use North Weald Aerodrome for our show in 2024." For the response to be, "No. You cannot have it." No. 37, 38, however many, 37 years, 36, however many years it's been held at that show, at that venue. And it's, no, you can't have it. So then became 3 months, a headache for 3 months, quite literally, because it takes almost kind of from the end of one show to the next show, it's a year's worth of work. At least 9 months of work. So then became 3 months of venue hunting, and I quite literally travelled from Somerset to Dover, Sussex to Doncaster, and every airport in between, every stately home, every estate, every racecourse, every showground, race circuits, race tracks, RAF, MO. It just went on and on and on and on and on and on. And it basically boiled down to the point. I was at a swap meet, I think November-y sort of time, the Telford swap meet. And I was having a chat with someone. It was like, I've still not had any joy with the venue. It's not looking good. And kind of, so I got introduced to someone that day, and he said, Martin, you should try this venue. You should try Stanford Hall. And I thought, I've not tried that one yet. I'll give it a call. So I gave Stanford Hall a call. And if I'm honest, the venue, I didn't really know anything about it. It was just, I was just giving anything a try. And then I kind of turn up, had a meeting with the event, sort of gave them a brief overview of Wings and Wheels, told them a bit about it, had a meeting in person, got shown the site. And if I'm honest, Frank, Jake, Cole, and Tom, it was when I was at the site kind of being shown around. And it was like, you do realise this was sort of kind of the first, almost kind of like the birthplace of powered aviation in the world. Kind of predecessing the Wright brothers as well, which was just incredible. The site's got a really, really fascinating history behind it with kind of the world of aviation. And the site itself, the venue and everything surrounding it, kind of ticked all the boxes of requirements. So Wings and Wheels has, in short, now been relocated to Stanford Hall in Lutterworth.
How many miles is that from me? Why did they say no after 38 years? Did they give you a reason?
There was a reason, yes.
Was it traffic?
Uh-oh.
It wasn't traffic.
Uh-oh.
No. It was just.
That's obviously not the interesting bit, but it's up the M1, right? And then when it's the junction with the M6, turn east.
That's it, pretty much. It's just there. I think just a quick, because I know I'll get a bazillion messages about the council and grandfather rights and all. I could swear a lot. It was the council wanted to do a planning application. Planning application for the site and kind of other things. It just basically, the council owned the land, the council were in charge. Wings and Wheels simply only hire it for a weekend a year. So in short, that was kind of, I tried, but nothing came of it. But Stanford Hall, yes, it is very near Rugby train station. I think it's about 15-20 minutes by car or taxi from Rugby train station, so nice and easy. Good road access. It's just off the kind of M6 M1 intersection bit in the country. Actually, for people kind of from like Surrey areas or south of London, it doesn't actually add, I know people will hate me for this, it doesn't actually add too much it doesn't actually add too much time on it, because before you always had that long leg of the M25. You pass the A1, A10 or A10, A1, and then them 11. This time it's sort of around them 25, straight up the M1. For people coming east, it's good road access. For people coming west, good road access. For people coming north, is good road access. And it's 900 acres is the site. So for the first year, we were in like one section of the state. But I really hope that it will sort of kind of almost become like a new nationals, or kind of that kind of a location where to kind of really to showcase, kind of be a one-stop event for if someone's looking, and that there's sort of kind of event for if someone's new. The BMFA are there with the simulator. If you're okay with a simulator and you want to look into getting a club trainer, there's model shops that sell club trainers. If you're looking to progress from the club trainers, there's on the flight line, you've got different flying displays and different things and different models available. It's sort of kind of trying to bring it all together. And I must say a big shout out to absolutely everyone who has assisted. There's too many people to name, but every single person I've spoken to in relation to Wings and Wheels, a massive shout out and thank you to all of you, because it kind of comes to that point where, yeah, it's Martin and all the Wings and Wheels, but it's the entire team. It's the entire team and all the members of the public, all the traders, all the pilots that truly come together and who make the show.
Yeah, I mean, we've had lots of meetups at Wings and Wheels events because it's had sort of lots of different sections there. I mean, you've had wing racing there, and X-Class racing, and 5-inch racing, and Whoop racing, and Whoops all through the night. You've had other little FPV like crawlers and things. Had all sorts of things going on there. I mean, there's always been sort of the issue with the North Weald site is that it is an actual airport that's got like manned aviation going on, and it has the police heli. Yeah, the police helis and the air ambulances and things that have meant that not all the site is actually available for model flying, and so there's kind of the one area where you've kind of got the jets trying to use the same space as the X-Class, and then you've got the Whoops trying to use the FPV sort of signal nearby there. So there's always been, you know, a lot of things happening in quite a small space of the site. I mean, with the new Stamford Hall site, with there being presumably no manned aviation going on there, I imagine you'll be able to kind of spread things out and maybe have more flying at the same time.
And hopefully it'll be less windy.
Oh,
fingers crossed.
And it doesn't rain.
The year was terrible. The year before.
Let's hope so. I can't remember. But I can't really remember what I did an hour ago. If I'm entirely honest, it's the fun. Today's mission, I think it's like all that behind the scenes stuff people don't see with the show. So today it was a case of looking for, and actually, if anyone's listening and anyone plays in a music band, message me, call me, find me on Facebook and message me, or email admin@wingsandwheels.net. Because send them my way, because you'd be looking up and it's like people hear the word air show, and I think this is we sort of kind of we mentioned it, or kind of touched on it earlier. It kind of comes to that point. It's like I'm 26, 20 years in model flying, done Wings and Wheels now, or helped out Wings and Wheels for 5 years and owned it 100% kind of this year moving forwards. But it's like when you knock on an airport's door and say, "Hey, I'm Martin. I want to run an air show," and you, oh my gosh, I'm not saying, oh, it's so much hard work. And where I link with that is when it comes to telling people you'd like a band to attend an air show, you should see the quotes that come through for a 4-piece band. Oh, it's like, there is no way you are not worth £5,000 for 30 minutes. I could be wrong.
Andy RC does a really good Celine Dion and Take My Breath Away as well. Yeah,
Jake.
I think I think Andy RC and I should team up. We could do it for £4,000, man. No problem.
Stephen can play bass.
That's a tempting offer. If you sponsor
4,000 Canadian dollars.
Oh,
cheaper.
That's cheaper.
You can exchange rate.
I was going to say you could do it for free if you sponsored the Portaloos or something like that. There's so many weird sponsorship options, or things, or something. Cole, I'm sure we'll be able to figure something out.
Yeah, just have your people talk to my people. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
If anyone's sponsoring Portaloos, it should be LDO.
So what?
Oh, Portaloos. Oh, geez. Sorry, I'm thinking porta potties. You guys call them Portaloos.
Yeah.
This has devolved horribly. This is not where I thought the show was going. But so Wings and Wheels, 29th and 30th of June. That's the important thing, right? That is that weekend. You've secured that weekend, the 29th and 30th of June, end of June. Hopefully, nice weather. Fingers crossed. You've secured your venue, Stanford Hall, up. At the intersection of the M1 and the M6. We've gone over that, and it's a big stately house. It said 900 acres. It was.
That's it, 900 acres, big stately home. I just saw quickly in the comments about tickets and various things. We can touch or saying that will there be a Q&A later on with this fine thing, or shall I address
this is one big long Q&A. Go for it. If you've seen something, what should we go for? Richard Warwick in the chat was asking, when will tickets be available?
That is a marvelous question, Richard, and my question to that, quite honestly, is hopefully soon. We're working on it now. The teams with the event, we're all running a little bit behind because where it took 3 months from when I initially contacted the council, to ask for the airfield, that's when you start organising the show. But obviously, yes, it took 3 months, and if I'm honest, it got down to days because it was a case of if Stanford Hall doesn't get confirmed, I'll just pull the plug on the whole show and walk away and do something else. So with that, we are underway. There is, if you look on wingsandwheels.net website at the moment, it's still got the old website up. Hopefully, if I'm lucky, by tomorrow or at absolute latest end of next week, there'll be a new website up with the tickets being available as soon as the website's up. It's just doing all the work in the background at the moment of linking PayPal accounts and bank accounts and verifying my identity.
Don't get me started. So that's Wings and Wheels, right? Wings and Wheels.
N for November. Wings and Wheels is how I have to say it now.
Importantly, as well.
.net. Wings and Wheels.net.
And is that going to be? I know you're very into your socials, so is the website going to be the best place to keep updated, or are you going to be posting out updates on the socials somewhere as and when you confirm things and get things sorted out?
That's a great question. What I'm hoping for is, yes, there is the Facebook page, Wings and Wheels Model Spectacular, or Wings and Wheels something. If it looks like a model show and it's called Wings and Wheels, it'll be that one. Most likely. I am hoping, so once traders, there's a lot of conversations that's happened in the background, but I fully understand members of the public haven't heard. But yeah, kind of, so with model shops who are confirmed, or pilots and teams, as and when they get confirmed kind of publicly, so to say, I'll release kind of a picture, etc., on the Facebook page. The website might undergo a few kind of updates and changes as required because it's kind of still kind of pulling together the whole show format and everything. So yes, I would beg people, or I say plead with people, keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on the Facebook page. I understand it might be at time we're in 2024 and it might still be in 2023, but the team, I've got an incredible team working almost non-stop on all of this at the moment.
Like you were saying, it's been a journey getting a venue.
Created and put as soon as it possibly can.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that.
Yes. If when I first made the first public post about I'd taken over and about the change, I was reading some of the comments about the venue being changed, and if I'm honest, it is that venue or no venue. Yeah. But that's kind of where we are with it all.
I think Lurgy in the chat has kind of put he's hit the nail on the head of what is kind of the next thing we really want to know. I mean, Wings and Wheels is a thing that we a lot of us sort of know and love, but this is, the Martin Thompson's Wings and Wheels, new venue, new management. So is it going to be the same show just moved, or have you got like some mad aspirations for other things that are going on, or are you still so in the process of building the groundwork that's in the future to think about at the moment?
Well, my mission for Wings and Wheels is there's a lot of things as well behind the scenes, or other projects and other companies of mine that sort of kind of all walking. I was just admiring the latest whole hairdressing. There are some marvelous bots that has just commented in the comment section.
You're doing well.
So yes, Wings and Wheels. I basically, what I want to do is recreate Flight Test in the United Kingdom. As part of other companies of mine, I've got a range of 36 new kits coming out, hopefully in 2024, of various different designs and various. That's it. So with Wings and Wheels, I really want to make it a family show. So even like when I'm vetting at the moment, catering vans, burgers and chips shouldn't be 17 quid. Maximum a tenner. So
good call.
It's kind of completely new. I want it kind of family orientated, and I want to showcase a hobby that brings all of us together. And it's a case of, and I can say this because I own an air show, or a model air show. We're all blokes who fly, or predominantly blokes, who fly toy aeroplanes in fields. So it's if you take that basis, we're all sort of the same. And I just want to showcase a hobby that means so much to all of us in kind of in as many different forms as possible. So it's Wings and Wheels, the name, but I'm doing my best to sort of kind of incorporate it to make it kind of the most affordable, enjoyable showcasing of our hobby event as humanly possible, and that I can do.
The other questions I've seen in the chat, we've got Clive in the chat asking, can me and Tony come and race X Class? We've got Stubbsy in the chat saying, could we race Wings as well? Caroline's asking about the wing racing as well. Have you been approached, or do you need putting in touch with the wing racing people? Have you got your contacts ready?
For wing racing people, I know it's happened at Wings and Wheels in previous years. If there's a way to put an email address for people to contact me, I'm open to having discussions with people. And also, if I'm honest, a lot of it if there's any kind of people out there potentially interested in sponsoring various different elements of the show. It's even like things like the Tamiya tent and stuff that's always been at Wings and Wheels. That's £2,500 just simply for the marquee to be there. And before you've known it, you can blow £50,000, £60,000, £70,000 just like that. It's ridiculous how quickly money can go. So yes, people like Wing Racing or anyone that might be interested in sponsoring such an area of the event, drop me an email. I'm always happy. Either myself or one of the team will pick it up, and we can always have a discussion.
And Lurgy's asking as well, what about the wheels side of the Wings and Wheels event? I know Lurgy's part of the group. I mean, besides the sort of the FPV side, he's done some of the really, really beautiful, very fine model trucks and things that usually kind of have their big, I guess is the Tamiya tent, and then have their big parade up and down the flight line almost. So have you got those in mind as well?
There's conversations happening. I'm not sure Lurgy's real name, but I have been in touch with a few people, so I might have already been in touch. But if not, again, get in touch.
Lurgy is Lurgy. Everyone just calls him Lurgy.
Graham Stanley is asking about the big boat pond. I believe that you've still got the big boat pond.
Yes, hello, Graham. So hovercrafts, ironically enough, I didn't realise Stanford Hall used to be the location for the British Hoverboat Association. And again, with model boats, there is that wonderful boating pond. That's not an area I've looked into just yet. I know there's been a few application forms filled out for various model boating clubs. I'm just looking into that at the moment, because if I'm honest, paying $5,000 for someone to fill up the boating pond, it's not really quite literally floating my boat at this moment in time. But if there's any model boating clubs out there that might have a portable pond or can facilitate or help in any way, please do get in touch.
I think you should just start getting it out now. Just leave it there. It'll be full by tomorrow, to be honest, the way it's going.
It was ridiculous. Yes. Yeah, actually, that's a valid point. Yes.
Tony said, give him enough neck oil, he'll have a go at trying to fill it with piss.
Oh, dear. Where's my notes? Where's the topic?
My name is now Tom.
Oh, Tom, yeah.
Tom FPV.
I'm Jake. Hello, Tom. My darling wife.
Oh, dear.
I don't even know my name. Did that sausage I cooked you mean nothing?
Oh, this is making sense for about 3 people. So the Martin, back to you. You've been doing your research either intentionally or unintentionally by traveling across the UK and traveling across Europe recently as well. I am particularly interested to pick your brains into not only how you think other people have been finding different ways of engaging people at events and promoting events and doing interesting things at events that maybe we haven't seen in the UK very much, but also how they've been building community amongst the people who are already in it as well.
That's actually a really interesting one, and I think for a lot of the inspiration for Wings and Wheels has kind of come. I was speaking. Where was I going? That was it. A lot of the inspiration for Wings and Wheels has kind of come from kind of traveling around different events, predominantly around Germany, because a lot of the model shows in Germany, you go out there and it's like £2.50 for one of the German sausage things are called.
Bratwurst.
Bratwurst. That's the one. That's the word. Bratwurst. Ein Bratwurst bitter is probably the extent of my my German, and then I always get the response in German, and I don't quite understand it, so I look very confused. And they're like €2.50. So it's kind of always a case of kind of food is always affordable at such events, although bottles of water might not. And it was interesting. just like the sheer enormity of these events. It's like a health and safety. We would look at it and think that'd be a health and safety nightmare, but they just see it as this is so much fun. You're sort of events that kind of have people who've been to Alexandra Palace, like the size of that internal area. They've got 9 halls filled of that size. And it's just incredible. It's like different worlds of radio modeling and stuff. And I would say that a lot of these, again, predominantly in Germany, sort of a lot of the outreach things, kind of getting kids involved. You'd be at an event and people be making little kids chuck gliders and stuff. I know Model Air at the Shuttleworth events do kind of various kid events, and there's quite a lot of engagement with kids. But it's, if I'm honest, it's more kind of a case of how our hobbies perceived in different countries. Over here, it's a geeky, nerdy, weird hobby that everyone is all sort of secretly fascinated by, but they don't admit it. But in Germany or in Europe, it's kind of a hobby that is kind of marveled, and people want to support it, and everyone's sort of kind of much more knowing about it. It's all quite fascinating.
How do you think they've managed that? Is there anything we need to learn, or do you think it's just just purely a cultural subconscious difference?
That is fascinating, and probably a question I could answer better if I haven't been on the phone all day talking to ABBA tribute bands. I think it's probably I think overall it's probably a societal. I said maybe
we are miserable bastards.
I think
kill it with fire. You're not allowed fun. Regulations, rules. Sorry, Frank, derailing. That's as much as I'll go.
Martin is here to spread hope, not your doom and gloom.
I know.
If I'm entirely yes, it's sort of kind of a case of just finding ways. But it is interesting because although you're out in Germany and the events are a lot bigger and a lot kind of different to how they are here, if you speak to the German aero modelers, they all say the events are dying and they're half the size of what they used to be. And it's like you've got 9 halls the same size as 9 halls, each one's the same size as Alexandra Palace, filled. And you're saying this is a small show. It's all about kind of perspective and different angles. But to us, it's like, oh my goodness, this is like a different world. And kind of seeing people, I think it's interesting. I think the German aero modeling fraternity is kind of a case of they get enjoyment by refining things via engineering more so than us. English people get enjoyment out of doing aero modeling simply by spending as little money as humanly possible. Over here, it's like, oh, I managed to beat up someone and I got this for 20 quid. But in Germany, it's like a case of I spent £3,000 on the same aircraft, but it's look how nicely these wheels turn and how quiet it is and how refined it is. And you do seriously notice these differences on all the aircraft. It's the quality is 10 steps ahead of where it is over here.
You mean they don't just have a load of foamies that they crash into the ground a lot and blow up with pyrotechnics?
I don't think they'd understand what that is.
Okay. I mean,
you have this precise engineering. Why would you ever want to blow it up?
I do not. I can't recreate my German accent.
Easy.
Oh well. How about something a bit more firmer ground for you, Martin? So you've had amongst your empire of model flying, you've had a history of running and being organised in swap meets.
Yes.
And I think for drone people, FPV folks, so most of our audience, a swap meet is probably something you might not have heard of. And I think it's just kind of an interesting difference between the drone community and the wider model flying community, that sort of the model flyers have these events that happen all year round and sort of maintain all those kinds of interpersonal relationships, just maintain the social structure, even when it's weather like this where you're not really going to fly anywhere. I mean, we've got the Whoop events, but that isn't to everyone's taste, and I would like to hear what your thoughts are on kind of like what makes a swap meet, and how do they work well, do you think?
That is very good. I think with the drone world, or especially when it comes to the second-hand market of drones, they kind of all mainly aeroplanes are aeroplanes. They've got wings and tails and a fuselage and an engine-y thing, and they sort of work and stay the same. With drones, they're predominantly kind of technology-based. And in the drone world, it's kind of every week there's something new. Technology's always being progressed in some way. So when it comes to like the second-hand value of these, they're worthless, basically. You can spend however many thousands you want on a drone, and you come to sell it next week, and you'll get realistically a tenth of what you just spent on it all, because all the technology is already out of date and it's been customized to your liking. So maybe in the drone world, that's probably why it's not as common or kind of a place for like secondhand pre-owned. Well, I say drones, multi-rotors.
I mean, as you were talking, it just reminded me of I think it was 2021, maybe. And we had a bit of a LDO get together at Wings and Wheels at Northfield, and Lurgy was there, having just bought what I had spotted at the Bring and Buy, which I'll try and share with you now. So here we go. That is what he had purchased. That was his big. So that's a sort of a tricopter with massive wooden blades, which is kind of a bit of a. But it also had this aerodynamic cowling, I would say, on it, a backformed cowling on it. And
that is one of the hobbying things.
I remember having an argument with Gavin, Gav with the van, the fruity smelling gentleman, shall we say, the lover of the devil's lettuce. And he was like, "What flight controller is that?" And I'm like, "It's a multi-wii." And he's like, "That's not a multi-wii." I'm like, "Bitch, you know that lion in Lion of the Witch and Wardrobe?" And it's like, I was there when it was written. I felt like that. Like everything just turned grey. and like, oh.
Were those Lumineer motors on that?
No, they were Hobby King multi-star.
Well, he says in the chat he never ever got it flying.
It's a shame. But I feel like it goes well on the wall. But yeah, that is the big difference, isn't it? Is that the multi-rotor stuff is just hype train. It's just what's the new stuff, get rid of the old stuff. Flight till it's broken. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm just wondering how. I feel at least that the FPV community drones, it has kind of become more fragmented, especially with the HD systems, where kind of different circles have gone in different directions, and it's harder to have a single unifying event. I'm just kind of wondering how we can kind of reintegrate all the FPV community into, so there is a bit more cross-pollination between different areas. But yeah, I was, I feel like the model flying more widely has done that really well, with swap meets and the show line stuff as well.
I think that's interesting. With what you say, and I think if I'm honest, it all kind of comes down to communication. And I think at times, there's a lot of times people kind of have maybe I ramble on a little bit on this at this point. It's what I kind of came into this hobby as this little 7-year-old kid with my Firebird Commander and stuff, and you see people on the flight lines, you see people on the show lines, and you think, oh, that's a big name. That's a name I've seen on YouTube, or that's a name I've seen or on kind of various things, and you kind of almost have that kind of natural apprehension about meeting these people, or you think they've got bigger model aircraft than you, they've got the expensive jets, they're in a massive team, and you think, oh, what the? I'm just Martin. I'm just a bloke or a kid. I'm terrified of these people. And then you sort of actually you talk to other people, and they're like, oh yeah, that team, they're all in a clique, or oh, that team, oh, we don't like that, oh, we don't like this. And it's like, have you ever actually spoken to them? No, I just don't like them. And it's actually until you sort of kind of whatever you get to meet people kind of through business and stuff. And it's actually, and that's where I say that line, we're all people who fly toy aeroplanes in a field, because once you kind of take away that, whatever price bracket you're in or anything like that, or whatever brand of transmitter or anything like that, we all just enjoy flying things that fly. That's it. And I think with the drone or the multi-rotor world or the helicopter world is people aren't familiar with that world, so they just instantly don't like it, or think, oh, someone's flying their drone over Gatwick, or something silly like that. Something similar like that, and it's just a case of, yeah, just immerse yourself into different areas of the hobby and just talk to people, and that's really it.
Well, thank you very much for all your efforts with Wings and Wheels. I hope you sort of you get past the big admin stage, or the groundwork, or the making sure the infrastructure is in place, all your portaloos, all of that stuff gets out the way soon, and you can start thinking about the more exciting things, the content that's gonna bring people along. And I hope that everyone in the chat and everyone listening along follows you and gets up-to-date information about Wings and Wheels, so that they can learn about all the exciting things that are going to be happening, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you, Andrew, and thank you for having me on. I think it will all kind of be a bit fine on time, but yes, one thing is the show's definitely, it's all going ahead. It will all come together. It's just bringing, kind of keep an eye on the website. Keep an eye on the website and updates, and I'll as soon as I possibly can, it will be updated. It'll be updated, and everything will kind of fall into place lovely. Just at the moment, it's bringing lots of different things together to make it all happen. So thank you to everyone's patience and everything.
I think you should come back and give us an update in April or something, couple of months. Give us an update of what you've done and what's going on.
Oh, yes. What I will do, Tom, I will draw my hairline.
And we'll see where it ends up.
There we go. I'll redraw it, and we'll see where it ends up come April. But no, thank you for having me on, and I'll touch base with everyone April, early May, and give an update.
And like you were saying, this is kind of your call for participation. If anyone's got things that they want to bring along and show off, so maybe the guys in the chat are looking to do more the RC truck stuff, the wing racing, the X-Class racing, whoops and things, drop you an email, and get in touch. What was the email address again for anyone that is has now got a pencil and paper in front of them?
It won't let me join the chat, but it's admin. If I send it to you, Andrew, you can kindly put it in the chat. But it's admin at wingsandwheels.net. So admin at wingsandwheels.net. Someone, let's join out. That's the one. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So drop me an email on that. Any spam or messages saying it's too far away or anything like that, I probably won't. I do apologise. But yeah, anyone who's kind of serious or willing to help or volunteer, or whether that's multi-rotor, boating, or any local flying clubs. I will be outreaching to local flying clubs, but any help is massively appreciated, because it's one less phone call I have to kind of make outwards. So that's time I can make another phone call and bring something even better together for the show. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much.
Can you please make it like the old days of Flight Fest, where we're not segregated because we're drone users, and like plain people can meet drone users and not feel like we're the enemy? Because
you'll just be segregated because you'll be segregated just because you're Jack.
Jake.
Like
Jake.
No, thanks.
We can hand out sandals and stuff for likes of you.
That could actually kind of come across quite mean. No, absolutely no. It's a case of I want to showcase different areas of the hobby, and I want people who might not be familiar with something to be able to come together, ask questions, experience it, see what it's like. And that's the only way we can kind of keep the hobby going, if we outreach to new people, get new people on board, and just kind of showcase and support one another for our common hobby of standing in fields playing with things that fly.
Will it make them more comfortable if we wear our trousers at nipple height? And wear socks and sandals?
Yes, and tuck your... Oh, only if you tuck your trousers into your socks.
Okay. No, shorts, isn't it? Shorts, socks and sandals.
There's got to be some very long socks to tuck your shorts into.
Yes. I think we might be going slightly off topic.
Jack gets his own pen.
I will have to. I'll unfortunately need to jump off, guys. But thank you so much for having me on.
Hang on, stay on, because your upload might need to continue. So hang on, do not hang up. Right, thank you. You've been listening to Let's Throw Now. This show was brought to you by Andrew/Frank. Thank you, our Lord and lovely master. I've been Jake. We've been joined by my wife Tom.
Bonjour.
And the admin master and thumbnail generator, my buddy Cole.
Except not this week, because it was Frank. See ya.
I know. And the sexy Martin Thompson, who won Beauty and the Geek, and is running wingsandwheels.net. Not to be confused with wingsandwheels.com. Thank you.
Or .co.uk.
Or co.uk. Thank you to all our lovely Patreons. You guys keep the show going and stop Frank from strangling us all to death. We are forever in debt. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.